unbelievable. His kick has retained the Bledisloe Cup.
Happy, they're exchanging blown over the park now. Oh, really lost it. They're not going to get in. And they're in. They're over.
Welcome to Fox Sports Gold, where we take you inside some of Australia's greatest sporting achievements. Heading into the 2006 State of Origin series, talk was that the concept was nearly dead. Queensland just couldn't compete. After a drawn 2002 series, the Blues dominated the Maroons for the next 3 years. So the Queensland Rugby League made structural changes behind the scenes. The totem like Mal Meninga, who'd played in the inaugural Origin, was appointed coach and wasted no time putting some of the most senior players on notice. Their ultimatum was to perform or retire.
New South Wales were really dominant. Some of our players were getting a bit longer in the tooth, 27, 28, 29, hitting 30, and Queensland, we just weren't good enough to win. We've been in crisis before. Everybody said State of Origin was over, but it was never over to us. It was only just beginning.
I'm just looking forward to obviously being involved in rugby league again. I've been out of coaching for a number of years and looking forward to Origin football in particular.
There he goes, Meninga.
Mel's a man's man. Mel played in game one. He turned 20 in game one. That's a young man. And he played in the biggest arena and the most passionate night Queensland had.
The players realised that we need a successful Queensland side to keep the Origin concept alive. So, that's our charter. That's our responsibility, and we're pretty keen on making that happen.
I guess was an opportunity for us to pick back up on some of that Queensland pride that we may have lost, in those 3 years previous to 2006. So
Mal coming in, set up this value system that we all are still abide by when you come in and play for the squad. And
for more reports, Mel put our biggest 3 players, he put them on notice. I think he laid down the platform. I think he told Stephen Price, Petro Civoniceva and Darren Lockyer, we don't win this series, you don't play for Queensland again. It's very hard for a club coach that was coaching him or someone with a lesser personality, but Mel's personality is very big, it's very strong, and he's been there since he was born, so he knows what Queensland needed.
a hard conversation to have, but it was a necessary one, and no doubt, we all identified with that, and we were adamant that, we were going to be a part of turning things around.
In one of the biggest upheavals in Queensland Origin history, 7 debutants were named in the Maroons squad of 17, and rookie coach Mal Meninga has faith his new boys can do their state proud.
They're a team picked on form. They get week in, week out rugby league on a regular basis. So, from an Origin point of view, they lack experience, but not from playing at the high level. They get it week in, week out.
To be selected was a huge surprise and a thrill. Rang nearly everyone on my phone. Probably ran out of credit, but I probably still had credit back in those days too.
I feel like I'm ready. I feel like I couldn't be more happier than be here today.
It is an exciting back line. All these players, Bowen, Inglis, Hodges, Tate, they can all create something from nothing. So it's just a matter of getting them plenty of football on the night.
Yeah, I'm in the best form of my career so far, and I've already told a couple of people that I'm only 22, turned 23 this year, and if I was going backwards in me form, there'd be something wrong.
If anybody looks like an accountant in our game, it's Cameron Smith, and a really poor accountant at that.
It was a little bit weird turning up the first day, and there's only a few guys that have played more games than me now, so.
Hopefully for the Maroons, back rower Dallas Johnson hits the Blues better than a golf ball. But just to make sure, coach Mal Meninga invited Maroon legend Trevor Gilmeister to take the squad through a tackling session. His passion and enthusiasm obviously hit home.
With him, he's just aggression, and that's what we need, I think. He's firing us up already, mate. It's fantastic having him out there.
Speaking to a few of them last night and telling them how good I was, they said, Trevor who?
It's all part of coach Mel Meninga's plan to put some passion back in the Maroons.
Certainly, as the week winds on and we get 1 or 2 days out from the game, definitely the nerves will set in, and I suppose that's the time to really switch on into football mode.
In the New South Wales camp, the Blues remain intact. Dynasty will wear the number 6, but denied his selection at 5'8" was a case of last man standing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm that bad.
I thought I was ready for it, and I had the opportunity to play again, and it was obviously I wanted to take that with both hands and make the most of it.
When you walk in and it sinks in that you're actually going to play State of Origin, for you to be a part of that, I'll never forget it.
Fullback Brett Hodgson thought his days in the blue jumper were over after the lightweight fullback was manhandled by Gordon Tallis in 2002.
Look at Tallis!
Now that there is a window there, I'm going to definitely take it with 2 hands.
Adding to the pressure, Hodgson will be the goal kicker.
It's an added responsibility which I do love when I get onto the field in any game. So, it's something else which I'm looking forward to and hopefully can do well.
The Queenslanders jetted into Sydney ahead of Origin 1, and it was hardly a case of walking into enemy territory with fans eager to get a slice of the new-look Maroons.
There's going to be a fair surprise element to our team. But
there was talk of Nate Miles starting on the wing, and we're shifting Greg Inglis into the front row, but at this stage I don't think that'll be happening.
I've played in series where if we don't win, State of Origin's over. State of Origin will never be dead in Queensland.
I'm going to try.
I was rooming with Craig Gower because he was in the halves, and unfortunately one of the last sessions he goes down, so it was a bit of panic throughout the camp, and it was one of those times where it was quite funny, but because the first guy to get a phone call was Brett Finch.
Finchy got the call up, and he'd just played on the weekend, and I think he'd been out for a couple of days, so.
He was absolutely hilarious. I'm sure he'd had a few beers on the weekend and maybe even the night before he got called into camp.
I guess lucky for me, Dynasty was the 5'8", so at late notice, I was called into the team, and
I think they did a lot of soul searching, the New South Wales team, and they ended up coming up with Finchy. He's got a great sense of humour.
I made a few jokes I think I said Kevin Hastings got a call before I did, but I was pretty relaxed about the whole thing. I wanted to show the boys I was confident. I knew Muzz from way back in the Hunter Mariners days. That probably was great for me because I didn't have anything to do with the build-up. I just got into camp 11 o'clock the night before, and then bang, the game was upon us the next day.
The morning of the game, we had a training session at Parramatta Oval it was, and I remember warming up actually, and there was about 2 or 3 helicopters above us.
I don't think Finchy even knew. I think he just rocked up, put his boots on and got into it.
Finchy was probably a little bit unprepared. I think his boots he'd blown his boots in the game before on the weekend.
And I had the old Chuck Taylor All-Star high tops on in the run-through, and I was slipping and sliding a bit. I know a few of the boys were probably thinking, what's going on here? Is this fella fair dinkum? But, we had a bit of a run-through just for me to know the plays and the calls.
And Finchy being Finchy, he's like, look at them, they come to see me, they love me. Constantly taking the mickey, but as I said, Finchy knew when to cross that line, and when he did cross that line and get serious, he was the ultimate competitor.
It was definitely an interruption, but it was great to have him in camp.
New South Wales' preparation for the 2006 Origin series was not ideal. Halfback Craig Gower had gone down at the 11th hour, rocked by a knee injury during the Blues' final training run. And so it was, with less than 24 hours' notice, the popular rooster, Brett Finch, would run out at a capacity Telstra Stadium. The New South Wales halfback wearing the number 20. What followed for Finch and New South Wales will go down in the annals of State of Origin history.
I'd played down there previously as a young fellow in the junior State of Origin matches.
It's a very hostile crowd. It's a very loud crowd, and that certainly gives the Blues an extra leg when they're playing there.
Everyone, I think, keeps to themselves. I think, unless you're a real young guy, I think everyone kind of knows that you've been picked because you can do a job, and we were just all about getting it done.
Darren Lockyer takes them out.
It is a tough ground to play on, and no doubt, you know, they made it a bit of a graveyard for travelling Queensland teams.
Here's their welcome.
Very in your face, and it still is to this day. Every time we run out in Sydney, it's just as hard to try and put the crowd in the back of your mind and try and focus on playing some footy.
So Badiris on what looks a lonely walk.
I remember it. I remember running out. I didn't cry. I felt like I was going to cry. It was just such a long wait. It felt like I'd been waiting forever, you know. And I'll just never forget that rumble in the crowd, the crowd's rumbling roar when I ran out. And I was actually very emotional anyway because my brother had broken his neck. I'd found this out just a few days before, so it was such a special occasion for me, and I knew my brother was watching in hospital, so.
There's no better feeling than putting on the blue jersey and running out in front of the home crowd, and it's always a very emotional time. I feel I get extremely emotional. It's you know, you think about your whole, what brought you to the position that you're in right now, what you've been through, and a number of times I've had tears, you know, streaming down the eyes because you can see your family in the crowd too, and it makes me so proud. And
State of Origin for 2006 is underway. And Seven Asiva, let him up now, takes the first tackle to the 40-metre line then for Queensland, and they're met. Forced back by a torrent New South Wales defence. Drifting across, and again another great tackle. Ball goes back to Anasta. And again he goes very, very high to Bowen. And Bowen's safe under the pressure there of the high ball. Now he makes a great run down the right side. Stepping in field, not held. Now he is.
More trouble for New South Wales. Tahu has come to the sideline, dislocated finger.
Early in the game, you know, we had a lot of momentum and a lot of ball, which, you know, really helped me settle into the game and give me some confidence.
Bowen to Lockyer. Lockyer goes back to Thurston. Thurston goes wide. Can't take it. Blues come up with the ball. It's Gasnier over there on the far side. Getting the ball away. King down the right side.
At the time, I thought Kingy got the ball, he was going to score, and then there was a bit of cover coming across Kingy. I thought, oh, might be a chance here if he can get it over the top. And then he lobbed it back in, and Beaver was inside me, but from that far out, I think I went back inside Brent Tate, it might have been.
Floats the ball back on the inside for Finch. Don't tell me Finch is going to score. Yes, Brent Finch has scored.
Found me way over scoring. You know, the first try of the match, which, you know, was a huge buzz when to get a try at any time is fantastic, let alone the opener in an Origin on your home ground.
That would have settled his nerves a lot and felt like a sense of belonging as well.
Oh, Stephen Price! Badiris then, in the middle of the park, and off the boot of Brett Finch. Over towards Inglis, up they go, and down they come, it's with Thurston. And Thurston... Knock on anyway, knock on. There's a knock on. Anyway.
We were on the front foot, which helped me with my kicking game, and certainly being a halfback, you know, we tended to be going at the defensive line more so than the Maroons.
Goes to the right side for New South Wales, and Finch through to Hodgson, quick hands, Gasnier for King. King has scored.
I remember saying to Kingy, because it happened in 2005, I said, look, if the winger wedges me, just be ready for quick hands. And Kingy, being a great centre himself, he knew exactly the position I was in.
You know, we found ourselves crossing for a second try, and certainly at this stage, you know, as a team and personally, the confidence was right up.
Great ball from Mark Gasnier to Matt King.
It wasn't until probably a couple of years into my Origin career that I finally got a starting spot. But coming off the bench made it even more nerve-wracking, I think.
Lockyer restarts, and this is a very big kick. It's out on the full.
Yeah, uncharacteristical things on Queensland's behalf, like a Darren Lockyer kick out on the full, really put us in a good position, and we had really good field position.
I remember clearly Willie Mason just burst through.
Now for Finch, he's got Mason with him.
And I remember I was actually sitting in behind the ruck because I'd come in because I hadn't seen too much ball and I was coming in to trying to get involved.
I shaped a turn inside to Gaz, and as I looked to turn inside to Gaz, I seen Willie on the outside, and
and he gets to the fullback, Matty Bowen, and I'm screaming on his inside. To his credit, backed his ability because, you know, when you got Matty Bowen in front of you, the size of Willie Mason, you're going to back yourself. And
Mason tramples over one, tramples over another. Big Willie Mason, he scores the third try. Oh, a pulverising run.
I still remember saying to him after the game, you know, he cost me an Origin try.
Willie Mason, the Blues' third try.
Willie was a good player back in those days when he had the long hair. Should have kept it long, I reckon.
At that stage, you know, puts us up 14-0 and, you know, obviously, you know, I was feeling great about myself because I had a hand in 3 of the tries and the team was really confident, you know, going into half-time.
You know, we couldn't have asked for a better start, and under the circumstances, it was good to get that confidence and that belief heading into the second half. No doubt, it wasn't the start that we wanted, but yeah, again, you know, there was that belief within the group that, you know, we could certainly turn things around, you know.
Origin, I tell you what Origin's about. It's about moments. It's not about the best player. It's never about the best team. It's never about the 80 minutes of football. It's about that one moment, and you happen to be there. And it only comes up so often.
Can we win this game? Mate, we're still pretty confident, so we're only 14-0 down, so we'll be right, mate.
I remember Eric Growth scooping a ball up, having a little dummy half run. And
Here's Growth again. And Thurston is saying he's lost the ball, sir.
Justin Hodges, smartly so, stole the ball one-on-one.
He tackled me and it was a good tackle.
Hodjo does always seem to be a bit of a niggler. He's the best at it, but he never really seems to throw the punch.
A one-on-one tackle from Hodges.
Guru just said if he shapes up, you know, I'm just going to unload on it.
Pretty much erupted.
And then Growth wasn't happy. They're exchanging blows over there. They're coming in from all over the park now.
Guru just launched one and obviously Hodjo launched the back in it and it was on. Get in there!
I used to live with Hodjo when we were playing at the Roosters. He used to leave his crap lying around everywhere, and I was a bit like that too, and I didn't like that his crap was getting in the way of my crap. And I used to see him play first grade for the Roosters, and he'd always threaten to punch someone if there was a scuffle on the field, and I always thought to myself, why doesn't anyone just punch him? Like, smack him in the head. Like, you know, he's my mate, so I used to tell him, like, if you ever do that to me, I'm going to smack you in the head. Sure enough, whole world's watching. Oh, well, bugger it. Bang.
Look, no harm done. I don't think too many were landed. And
it was a little bit of a ladies' handbag fight, really.
It was handbags at 10 paces, but they were nice handbags.
Eric Grove! Eric Grove! Eric Grove!
I heard it. It took me back to
Eric Grove!
me mum calling out for me to clean my clothes up off the bedroom floor back in the day, and I heard it the first time.
We're coming over to him. Eric Grove!
After the game, he got interviewed, and he had a little smirk about it and said, I used to live with Guru. Or cool, mate, I'll get him in the next one, a little wink to the camera. So I thought it was really, really big of his character.
I think, you know, when those little moments happen within games, especially that one, that certainly inspired the boys to find something else, and when we were able to do that.
Webb about to come back into the game. He's been here before as Price gets it back. Thurston gets it on. Lockyer gets it away. Picked up by Inglis. Inglis for the corner. Inglis, I think, has scored.
They can come back into the match so quickly, and in this instance, you feel the pressure building, you feel the momentum building for Queensland, and they're just, once they get a roll on, they're hard to stop. They've got so many potent players.
Won't be any different tonight. Jonathan Thurston, the big loop, straight over.
Great kick by Thurston.
I tell you what, it's an ugly old golf swing, but it works.
As Lockyer puts a little kick over, and a mistake made by the Blues, and Inglis has scored again.
You could just feel that momentum shift within the game, and
Greg Inglis I reckon he scored 100 tries at NRL. He scored 15 or 16 at Origin. It just proves that they're 10 times harder to score.
What a night for the kid from Melbourne. Fantastic effort.
Yeah, that's something I learned early within this Queensland squad, is that to never stop and do whatever it takes to win.
How can Queensland go far enough? Steve Menzies game.
We fought until the last minute.
Smith.
Yeah, you start thinking, oh, here we go again, here they come. You know, we've seen it all before.
Thurston. Back it goes. Flies it to Hodges. For Bell. Bell scores. Bell
That's when my world felt like it was crumbling down around me, and I just kept playing over that little scuffle in my head, thinking, you idiot, you know, calm, you hot, stupid, hot-headed, stupid play. You know.
Yeah, the game's in the balance.
You just got to go through your routine. You got, 70-odd thousand people there, all dressed in blue, in the background, right on the sideline. They're feeding it to you. They're yelling at you. They're calling you everything under the sun. And
I remember standing behind the post and just hoping to God that he misses the kick. But at the same time, I don't know if it's being pessimistic or not, but you just got the feeling he's going to get it.
You certainly have to block that out and just go through the process of your routine to, kick the ball. And
there it goes! I like it! I like it! The flags are there! He's got it! Johnny Thurston has kicked the goal!
Boomerang kick that he kicks, it always seems to come back somehow.
He's kicked it now. It's only, it's going to be a field goal now that wins it. And I was actually thinking at the time that it'd be either me, Braith, Jonathan Thurston or Darren Lockyer that kicked it. So I was thinking, we're in a good position here to, if we get a crack, I'm going to have a go for it.
Here's Gasnier crossing the halfway line.
Braith Anasta is a long-range field goal specialist.
32 metres out from the line, last tackle. Finch takes the shot.
I remember kicking it, it just sounded like, when you hit a six with a cricket bat.
I remember him just dropping the ball, and I had the perfect view. I was right behind him.
All of a sudden, bang, he hit it.
The sound of the ball, the foot hitting the ball was just pure.
Come straight out of the middle, and it never looked like missing.
It's got the height, it's got the length. I think it's there. Yes, it's there. Brett Finch, the hero. 17-16 in favour of the Blues.
I'll never forget the elation and just we've done it. There's just that feeling of, thank God I didn't wreck the game for New South Wales, And
that feeling I had when it went over, I've never experienced that again. That pure ecstasy at the time. And no matter what anyone has ever their opinion on me as a player, that feeling right there, they can never take away.
He has won the game for New South Wales with a long-range attempt. The jubilation on his face.
If you go over all the Origin series, there's one moment in the game when someone pushes harder than the other guy.
Getting to 16 all and then to lose it by 1 point was probably the hardest thing.
Hooter in the background. It is over. Origin 1 is over. Won by the Blues. A sensational second half comeback.
We were so elated. It was just one of those moments. It was like redemption, I suppose, for Finchy. I think he'd been through a lot, Finchy, and been criticised a lot throughout his career. And it's one of those moments that he's just been living for. He's just been waiting for his whole career, and for me to be a part of that with him and share that special moment with him, that's, we'll take that to our graves, And it was a huge Origin moment.
For that 24 hours, I was a bit of a hero, which is always nice to have. And I just remember walking back to we'd gone around the field and we'd come back near the tunnel and just seeing me parents and me mum and dad and me family there and how proud they were. That was probably the best part of it.
We're not in trouble at all. You guys think we're in trouble.
There's only one way that we could turn that around, and that was by a good performance in game 2.
New South Wales will become the first side to win 4 straight series with a win at Suncorp.
We might see a few little fisticuffs, which would be bring it on.
After losing the 03, 04 and 05 Origin series and then losing the opening match in 2006, the Queensland media turned on their own state team. The worst Queensland team ever and the most inept 17 ever picked were just a couple of the missiles thrown at Mal's men. Going into Game 2 at Suncorp Stadium, the Maroons were just 80 minutes from an historic 4th consecutive series loss. Their hopes on the surface would seem pretty slim, but as history has now shown, the one place you don't want a Queenslander is with his back to the wall.
Take off, steal off, night away.
The criticism was still there, if we were going to lose this game, and that was it, Origin was over. And we were such a determined group that we didn't want to make that happen. Again, the confidence that we took out of that second half in game one really set us up for a great preparation.
The backlash that we'd copped from losing game one and the side that we'd picked for game two, there was a fair bit of backlash at that too. And
Matt Bowen's gone. Carmichael Hunt will make his Origin debut.
Carmichael is a current Australian fullback and we thought he deserved an opportunity.
Canberra winger Adam Mogg is the shock replacement for Inglis, preferred ahead of Matt Bowen and Reece Wesser. But the 28-year-old doesn't mind the Adam Who tag.
That's fine by me, mate, yeah. That doesn't worry me one little bit.
Adam Mogg's a winger, plays left wing, great plays and in good form. Once again, meets the criteria of the selection panel, and he's in the side because of he deserves it.
And they picked him, and the New South Wales are probably thinking, who's this guy?
Bringing someone like Adam Mogg in, there were guys there that the question marks were asked of, whether they'd be capable of playing Origin.
It was news to winger Matt King. He wasn't lining up against his Melbourne teammate Greg Inglis.
I didn't realise he had a back injury, to tell you the truth, and then heard today he's out for 2 to 4 weeks or something like that.
In an even bigger surprise, little-known North Queensland forward Jacob Lilliman has been rushed into the squad.
He's got a good motor in him, he can go the distance. We're not in trouble at all. I mean, you guys think we're in trouble. Internally, we're pretty happy with our team. No, I'm just stirred up the fact that no one gives us a chance. They say that we should have picked a player in this position, picked this player out of position. Why this player had been picked? Our forwards are too small. We were bashed up in the first game. We should have lost by 20 points. That's Sydney media, of course, not blaming you guys. So.
The only cloud over the New South Wales side has been some ordinary weather in Sydney. Blues fullback Brett Hodgson is one player who can't wait to run onto Suncorp Stadium.
I love playing up there at any stage of my career, whether it be just club footy or in such an arena as this one. So
New South Wales won't be taking anyone lightly, especially the Queensland pack that former Blues fullback Gary Jack has labelled a bunch of cream puffs.
Is that what he said, did he? Geez, thanks. They're not cream puffs at all.
The media are quite smart the way they go about things to beat up a game, or in particular Origin, because it's not hard to get a comment from past players in regards to Origin because they're so passionate about it. And I understand why they are, because they gave so much of their career towards this game and so much energy and effort that you understand, and they do have a right to comment. But I guess one thing as current players that we were at the time, Queensland don't need any extra motivation.
NRL or NFL? It seems Big Willie Mason could be in for a career change.
I hung out with him a lot during the camp, and every time we'd see something about NFL, he'd be looking at me like I'm going to play that. I was like, shut up, mate.
This youngster made it very clear which team he didn't follow. According to the bookies and the experts, his sentiment is spot on. New South Wales will become the first side to win 4 straight series with a win at Suncorp. Some even fear another Blues series win would harm Origin. But not the man who won game 1.
I remember when I grew up, I didn't see New South Wales win an Origin series for years. And it's still going strong.
This is reply when asked whether Carl Webb would start the game.
Carl would start, yeah.
Is that something you think?
At 5'8", yeah. Ball and stripper on the edge. Put Lockie into hooker, and so we'll be right. They'll handle the situation right. They're sick and tired of it all, to be honest with them. Being criticised, being one of the worst Queensland sides ever, and I think that's ridiculous when people make those sort of statements. Yeah, and they're pretty well fired up to make amends. But in hindsight, we only lost the game by 1 point.
If anything, I think it galvanised the group. We were a proud group, and Mal, made us very aware of our responsibilities to the Queensland jersey. That we certainly weren't going to lay down and New South Wales dominate us.
If the media and everyone are saying those things, it's fuel to the fire, and just makes you hungrier and makes you want to win the game even more.
The defacing of the King's statue occurred in the early hours. A security camera captured a man painting Wally in the sky blue colours of New South Wales.
It was something that I think we were all pretty angry about.
Probably not the best thing to do. Very disrespectful if you're a Queenslander.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
If anything else, they may see it as an insult to Queensland Rugby League.
I'm sure Wally wouldn't have been too happy about it either.
Yeah, I remember seeing it on the paper there and having a little giggle. Poor old Wally.
We might see a few little fisticuffs, which would be
Bring it on.
I tell you what, if it provided motivation for the Queensland team, I'm still filthy at the blokes who did it.
The roar of the Queensland crowd blew the Blues crowd away.
They're not the most popular men in town.
It was a rumble, it had so much bass, I could just feel it through the floor, and it felt like every single person in that arena hated my guts.
Here's the favourites. Listen to this.
But then when Queensland ran out, mate, the ground shook. I'll never forget standing there and the ground shook.
When you run out, you just hear that roar, and it feels like the ground is shaking. It's that loud, and it's a moment that you never forget.
That's the cauldron, you know. That's the atmosphere that you walk into, and you know, for us as Queenslanders, it's a spiritual home of rugby league. You know, the Al Lang Park.
To run out for the first time as a Queensland player, playing my first game in Queensland, was the best feeling ever. I still love that feeling to this day.
Lockyer, captains for the Knights tie. Never has he been under this pressure before.
The roar of a crowd behind you and not booing you was a lot different from the first game.
Number 2 is underway. High kick-off. Stuart Mason. Mason has got the roll, swarming all over him. The Blues get it out to the 20-metre line. They make a mistake. And that came from sheer harassment. Thurston gets it up towards halfway. He's looking for a penalty. He thought he had the markers. He's got them all right. What? Thurston then. From 30 metres out, 20 metres in. I like it. There's the first points of Origin 2. Mason with a surge down the left side. Oh, met with great defence. Taden Lockyer, tremendous tackle on Mason. Here's Banderas from dummy half, trapped by Lockyer. High tackle's gone then for the Blues. The ball comes out. There was nobody else there, so they don't know who Danny's going to blame. Through an Astor, they go to Finch, and Finch moves the dummy, goes to Hodgson. Now the ball has come down and may have come off Queensland again.
I remember the first 15 minutes as clear as day. It felt like the first 15 minutes of the movie Saving Private Ryan. It just felt like we were getting slaughtered.
Thurston over on the blind side gets a kick in before Simpson charges him down, and well taken by the Blues.
And one thing that is obvious is Jonathan Thurston taking much more responsibility when Queensland have the football, as they have now.
Yeah, I was the halfback on the side, so I go out, I took JT, I marked it, and then our second rower comes out on Chris Flannery. And
here they are, 10 metres out from the line, and they're in, they're over, Carl Webb! Carl Webb has scored his second Origin try!
Their front rower held our front rower in, and Carl Webb went straight through and under the sticks, and it's 8-0, and you know, at that stage they had all the possession and all the momentum.
Oh, Mealy's lost it! A big confrontation, 7-a-seamer, and O'Mealy. It was like Ayers Rock hitting the Sydney Harbour Bridge.
That really set us on the back foot, you know, attacking their line with a chance to score.
Behind O'Mealy to a Nasta, and then intercepted by Hodges. Really has the pace.
But Hodjo come up with a big play, and
Hodges has the pace. Hodges starting to go. They're not going to get him. Justin Hodges, he scored.
Everything's going their way. They are nearly impossible to stop.
Queensland certainly, you know, had all the energy and momentum going into half-time.
Queensland turned it around, and I said it was one of those performances. And I understand because people do, because they go, Bullman, how can this team play that good? And I've heard New South Wales say it a couple of times. You cannot get ambushed. I'll give you can't get ambushed in State of Origin.
Now, the second half is underway. New South Wales line, last tackle. Pierce Smith from dummy half. The kick, not played out by Menzies, came off his legs. Then Gasnier had a grab at it. And Clark is ordered knock on against Gasnier. Gasnier blowing up. Let's go to the referee.
You know, we struggled for the full 80 minutes that night.
Well, I think he's already ruled here, Rabbits.
Hey, I don't want everyone else. Everyone go back, back. I don't appreciate being spoken to like that. It wasn't played out by your bloke, by Steve Menzies, and you trying to pick it up, knocked it on. Don't speak to me like that, now get on with it.
You know, for a halfback, it's like being in quicksand, you know, the harder you try, the worse it gets.
They come the wide side, and Nasta, the cutout pass is a shot.
Oh, Thurston's got a kick on it. This is play on. Will he get the bounce? What a pick up. He gets the ball away. They're in again. And a Morgan scored. What they do.
He made a couple look a little bit awkward, but yeah, it doesn't matter how you get over the line. He got over and...
Lockyer fires it, rifles it out to Thurston. Thurston away. It's come from Smith. It's gone to Mogg.
We've had a tendency for setting up our debut wingers for a couple of tries, I think.
Mogg's got number 2. And a Mogg has scored. That's his second try.
When Adam Morgan, a guy that played for Redcliffe for 10 years, and we'd sit as a Bronco and watch the local footy. God, this guy's a good player, and it's a shame he didn't make his debut till probably 29.
Support play. Here's a first stand-up. Got to come in. Lockyer's away. Lockyer's got Berrigan with him. Berrigan scores. It is 28 points to 0.
For me, that's where my Origin career ended that night.
Queensland have won it. Queensland have won Origin 2 here at Suncorp.
It's so tough to win an Origin match. We gained a lot of confidence out of that game because we'd won so convincingly, and you know, everyone was very happy that we'd done the job, and we gave ourselves a chance of winning the next game.
I just think the fact that Queensland hasn't won a series for this is the 4th year running, it's probably the biggest Origin game I've played to date.
I just remember, the Melbourne crowd, getting behind the Queenslanders.
Watching Origin football ever since a kid, I used to run home for footy training just to watch.
We've got 15 minutes to go. We can still win this game.
With a decisive victory in Game 2, the Maroons had levelled the 2006 State of Origin series. Unfortunately for Queensland, the Blues' first-pick halfback, Craig Gower, was back to full fitness, and the New South Wales team headed into the decider as heavy favourites. The game was to be played under the closed roof of Melbourne's Telstra Dome, where the Queenslanders would find an unlikely ally in the Victorian crowd.
In the lead up to that week, I just remember, the Melbourne crowd, getting behind the Queenslanders, and which was great to have. We enjoyed their support, wherever we trained.
Down in Melbourne, it's funny, we're closer to them, New South Wales, but they're all Queensland fans. They hate the Blues. I guess might be that rivalry with us and them too. Maybe everyone just hates us.
Cleared of a broken hand, Mark Gasnier was like a boy with a new toy over his selection at 5'8" for the Blues.
It's something I'm definitely excited about and looking forward to.
Teaming with Craig Gower at half, the first-time combination faces a stern test.
Gowie's such a cool head. He's such a competitor and so composed.
Sharks' Paul Gallen gets his first Origin jumper at the expense of Andrew Ryan.
Watching Origin football ever since a kid, I used to run home for footy training just to watch it, and to actually be playing it, that's just going to be unreal. And yeah, it's going to be probably the toughest game I'll ever play in, and yeah, I can't wait to get out there.
A few of us went down, myself, Andrew Ryan, Brent Kite and Braithen Astor, who had been dropped. 4 of us had been dropped for that game, Cerise, but they still invited us down, and it looked like we were going to be a part of a winning series.
I think we went to a cocktail party in Melbourne.
Premier Steve Bracks hosted the decision makers and VIPs behind moving the decider south.
At first, I think we all thought he was thinking, what AFL team's this?
Go Maroons!
The whole week in the lead up to Game 3, I was just buzzing because I was about to play an Origin decider, and I think that's every footballer's dream, is to be in that situation.
Tasmanian Miner and Maroons fan Brett Webb was at the Blues training.
It literally feels like you are in the centre of the whole universe.
With that roof closed, you can hear the roar, you can hear the crowd going ballistic. That night, there was a lot of Queensland support there. It was like we were playing at Suncorp.
I didn't know Victorians liked us so much. I don't know if they like us that much or if they just don't like the other mob that much.
No, when we run out, it was, you could definitely tell it was a state of origin, put it that way.
Running towards the northern end of Telstra Dome, and the series decider is underway. Sit back and enjoy. Live down the eastern seaboard, right through Victoria tonight. Here's Jonathan Thurston towards halfway. Dummies tries to bust through. Ball played by Price. It comes out to Thurston. They're about 8 metres into New South Wales' area. Here's Tate off his right. Gives it back to Lockyer. Lockyer swerves and looks around. Not held and goes again. This is the last tackle for Queensland now.
Coming across and putting a kick behind Big Guru, and
Thurston goes to the boot. He chips it over the top. Oh, and Adam Mark on the far side of the ground.
One of the best put downs I've ever seen. He was actually out. His body was hovering over being outside the line, and he just got that ball down the last second. It was one of them great Origin tries, I thought. And
he's going to have a look at it, Stephen Clark. Whether or not he's got it down.
Just puts it down behind him, and everybody, and even Queenslanders, some people that weren't real Queensland fans, go, who's this guy? Well, I'll tell you what, after the series they knew who he was.
Watch him, his shorts or his actual body. It's a try.
I think it's going to, yes it is, there's the green light. Queensland 4-0.
Those things happened, and we knew, look, they'd got a try from a kick. We weren't too concerned about it behind the goal line.
And they're 15 out from the uprights, running towards the Coventry end.
I could see Guru was tucked in on Josh Hanna, and I've gone to throw a long ball to Moggy in the corner, and Guru's changed his line and taken an intercept.
Now they hit the blind side. Thurston intercepted by Eric Grove Jr.
I just remember seeing open pastures and thinking, just run, just bloody run.
Tell you what, Guru could run. You know, he was very underestimated for how quick he was.
Now the race is on.
Put him away.
Grove, he's streaking away.
And I remember, it's funny, when I was running, I was actually thinking of what my sprint coach used to tell me to do. Funnily I say this, but envisioning, he used to use the analogy of an emu, like watch an emu run, they rake the ground, every step's a rake, and they get faster and faster as they go. And I just kept thinking of that. So I'm playing Origin in Decider in Melbourne in front of however many thousand people. I'm thinking of a bloody emu.
He's streaking away down the right side. They chase in vain. But Eric Grove puts it down. That would be his first Origin try.
Every time I ever made a break after that, I had the old emu in my head. Thanks, Hayden.
It was one of those things where you just think, oh no, here we go.
Back to Brent Tate. And he's been barreled into the ground by O'Mealy and Simpson. It goes straight over to Eric Grove, the try scorer for New South Wales. He's able to beat one. Smith across to Thurston, inside ball. That could have well been forward, makes no difference. Advantage to the Blues, and O'Mealy just outside the 40-metre line, the Blues end of the park. Shabowski puts a kick along the ground, and then, Hodgson picked it up confidently.
I remember coming off at half-time, it was 4-4, and we definitely hadn't played as well as what we could have.
Yeah, I remember all I wanted was us to get through the game and win. I didn't care how or what or why or who was going to win it. I just wanted the game to be over and us to have the W next to our name and an Origin win, like a whole series win next to my name. It would have been a great thing.
That's what makes Origin so great, is you can be the better side but still not come up with the win because it goes for 80 minutes. And they were very dominant for a lot of that, but Queensland, true to Queensland spirit, they never gave in. And they're prepared to go the extra mile for each other. It's simple as that. I don't think I've ever walked off an Origin game. I don't think I've ever walked off a club game saying, what a great game plan. No, it's about the efforts.
Here is O'Donnell with a good shot on him.
I remember being ahead and thinking, we need another one. We just need another one.
Badira's for Hodgson, for Gaznia. That King will score. That King has scored his 5th Origin try.
And then all of a sudden, you could start to feel momentum sort of shift their way.
Play back again for the New South Wales captain to go to Gower's boot. It's high underneath the roof of Telstra Dome. The ball is allowed to bounce. Menzies gets it away. And Eric Rowe scores his 2nd try.
Yeah, I remember putting that ball down. I slammed it down that hard. It nearly went through the grass.
We thought that it had knocked it on because it clearly looked like a knock onto us, so we thought it was going to be no try. And
I think there's a real doubt on this. I think Hodgson seems to have got some contact and he's definitely gone towards the opponent's try line.
I wasn't going to be playing because I got to score my 2nd Origin try in the one game.
Absolutely no doubt that that man, Brett Hodgson, went through, played at the football by being there. It went forward before it got to Eric Growth and Stephen Menzies. And this is a disgrace for this.
Dear.
I remember myself, I was pretty gutted, and we were walking back slowly towards the try line, and I was with Lockie, and I've used a few expletives and said it's not going to be our night tonight. And I remember him clearly saying, we've got 15 minutes to go, we can still win this game. And yeah, you know, that gave me that belief that, you know, there's a lot of time left for us to come back and win this game.
But the pressure didn't worry him, and I think Thurston thrives on the pressure.
Shabowski goes over to Thurston, who gets around O'Donnell.
I ran about 20 metres and looked to my right and seen Tatey out wide. And
he goes out for Brent Tate. Tate goes for the pedal.
And then once he broke free from that line, I remember just thinking, yeah, no, they're not going to stop him from here.
Menzies after him, won't get him. Tate will score. He'll bring it around. He'll make it a certain 6-pointer.
I'm not feeling the safety that I was a few moments ago.
You know, we went back to kick-off confident once again.
Game's on a knife edge and everybody started creeping forward, and this is in Mexico for rugby league players. It's like this is down in Melbourne, but even they sense that this is a special game.
Where Growth gets a favourable bounce, and he's tackled inside 20.
And I'll never forget the moment. I remember Brett Hodgson being at dummy half, and once he let go of that pass, it was like sort of slow motion, you know, the ball was hanging in the air, and
the Blues slow to get back into the line.
Speed went up a notch, you know, he took off, and he obviously knew that this pass wasn't going to land where it was meant to be, and hit the ground, bounced up, and Lockie just sprinted through.
Oh, intercepted by Lockie! He scored! No! They can't take that off him! They won't take that off him! He will play to the spot! It's a try! And Queensland have got a 6-pointer!
New South Wales have been in the battle and sometimes won a lot of battles along the way, but they just haven't won the war.
Menzies puts the ball back to Grove. Grove puts a kick down the ground. It's gone out on the full. Queensland have won it. Queensland have won the decider.
Origin was still live, and we were the heartbeat, and we were keeping it alive.
It was all New South Wales. First 20 in. It was a great comeback by our guys. It's the spirit we've shown all series, and it's a great win.
One of the greatest feelings you can ever have, and I remember shaking Lockie's hand and giving him a big hug and saying thank you.
And all the Queenslanders back home watching it on telly. You've waited 4 years, but for the next 12 months, this is yours.
You get mates in Origin that you'll have for the rest of your life, and you go through moments in Origin with your mates that no one can ever take away from you either, and it's a special time.
Oh, great. It was a great honour to play for New South Wales. You know, they don't hand jumpers out to anyone.
Very tough pill to swallow, but we had to swallow it, and Queenslanders are well known for doing it, and credit to them, mate. They just stuck it to us in the end there and never said die in typical fashion.
Because the hardest thing in football is to do it back-to-back consistently, year after year, after everyone's done their homework on you, and etc., etc. And as I say, they deserve every accolade they get.
They play for each other. I think it's a very close-knit bunch of guys that we've been lucky enough to stumble over.
Yeah, winning Origin is definitely up there. To be able to turn that around and then now to be a part of building something very special. It's a fantastic feeling, and yeah, definitely right up there at the top of everything I've done in the game.
You know, some of us kids are lucky enough to play for that Queensland team, but there's a lot of other kids look up to us and want to be where we are one day, but they might not get there. But what they do is they support us 100%, and it's just ingrained in us up here in Queensland.
This has been a production of Fox Sports.